there was a story that our friend Brad Turner, friend of the show,
we've known Brad for 100 years.
Yep, covers the Lakers for the LA Times. He wrote a story about how Westbrook, LeBron, and Anthony Davis met at LeBron's home in Los Angeles 2 weeks ago and talked about teaming up. And it was just a kumbaya moment. I pictured them by the fire, some marshmallows and hot cocoa.
There was only one problem with the meeting, Chris. Did you know that? Did you hear about it?
No.
LeBron ordered Blaze pizza, and there wasn't enough cheese on it, so this thing almost didn't happen. No, Don? Nothing? Nothing? Don, wow. Okay, go ahead, Chris.
Oh, I'm laughing. You hear me? I'm cracking up. I know you're used to Jonas Knox, just Rob. No, but
Don, can you pay attention? What show are you listening to in your headphones? Okay,
that was funny, Rob. That was funny. Good job. Good one. All right, there we go. But anyway, they met, and everybody was talking about, hey, it's all about a ring, baby. It's all about a ring. Westbrook said all the right things. Hey, all I care about, guys, is getting home and delivering the championship, winning a championship. That's all I want. I will even play off the ball. LeBron, if you have the ball, I'll play off the ball. LeBron said, but hold up, bro. I'm willing to get off the ball. I'm willing to move positions. You've been having the ball in your hands your whole career. I'll go to power forward for you. And AD was like, but hold up. I'm willing to go to center, guys. That's how much I want this ring. That's how much I want another ring. So AD's willing to go to center. LeBron's willing to go to power forward. Westbrook is willing to play off the ball. Kumbaya, I tell you. Rob, you and I both are skeptical about this move. Does this revelation that they came together weeks ago bore their souls and said, let's just get it done? Does this make you feel better? Does this make you think, you know what? This might work. This big three could work. What are your thoughts?
Not one iota, not one scintilla.
Doesn't change anything?
No, it doesn't. Because, of course, going in, Chris, you always come up with a plan and everybody says, yeah, I'm going to do this and I'll stop doing that and I'll let you do this. And that sounds good going in. But now you're asking Westbrook to be different from what he was. You're asking LeBron James to be different. Anthony Davis has not played center for a reason, Chris. And now all of a sudden, it's okay. If that was the case, he could have done that before, right?
Especially in this soft league.
Yes, he could have been dominating, nobody to guard him, and just pounded at the center position. He refused to do that. So it sounds good in principle and on paper, and it sounds great. They had a great powwow, and they, like you said, held hands and sang Kumbaya and all that. But it still doesn't change the fact that I don't think this is a good fit ultimately. Just the same reason they thought it was going to work in Houston, Chris, didn't they?
Well, Harden and Westbrook grew up together.
Right, no problem.
So they were,
we're cool.
Chris Paul and Harden.
Thank you.
They had talked about getting Chris to Houston. Remember, he was a Clipper.
Right. This is what I'm trying to say is like,
right.
It happens all the time. It doesn't mean anything. Yeah, the intentions could be right and good, and they could be trying to do the right thing and think, we got to try to win another one. But I just don't. And you talk to people, and of course this morning my phone is blowing up. All the Laker fans, my man Obi, and all these people like hitting me up saying, "Oh, championship, can't wait." I was like, really? Like that was a championship move? You don't even know who else is on the team yet. Like, so I get Russell Westbrook, Chris. I get Anthony Davis and LeBron James, but I'm sorry. It doesn't feel good to me.
Look, first let me say this. I do think the intentions are good, and I think you agree. I have no doubt. Like, my question's about Westbrook. It's not about intention. He deferred for James Harden. He did. He was willing to play off the ball, and it's your team, James, and I'm good with that. So I'm sure he means what he says. I'm sure LeBron means what he says. And the one that makes the most sense AD can play center. Okay, about time you recognize that. So, yeah, that's fine. That can happen. But your game often is your game, especially when you've been in the league for 19 years like LeBron has, or 18 years. And Westbrook, what is this, his 13th, 14th year it'll be? Something like that. 13 years, 12 years. I mean, your game is your game to the point where you're not as comfortable playing another way. You can try, you can want to, but you're not as comfortable, and therefore you're not as effective. And when push comes to shove and times get tough, you're going to default to what you instinctively are best at. And for LeBron, that's running the show.
And you know what?
And for Westbrook, that's, being aggressive and doing what he does.
Think about LeBron from 2 years ago when last year, right? Last year when he ran the point and led the league in assists, right?
And they won the championship.
And they won it, but then all of a sudden, now why would he stop that at that point, right? Like what sense did that make? He went right back to being the other player. You know what I mean?
I think he tried to make room for Schroeder. Because look, him being the point guard was like, he's been the point guard his whole career.
Right, point forward, basically.
Yeah, I mean, but he wasn't playing that much differently, but I think he tried to make room for Schroeder. And I do think at this stage in his career, in this age, it's probably easier for him to be off the ball, right? And it saves him some toll physically. But I just think, and I do think that's the one thing or one of the things Westbrook brings is that he will take some of the physical toll off LeBron and AD. But there's no way I see Westbrook being the primary decision maker and LeBron just being more of a full-time power forward. They're number one in this league of pace and space, and we had Antonio Daniels say it yesterday. It's about pace and space. They're not going to have spacing. Are they going to try to play old school basketball? I would be down with that, but they won't. They won't just go, look, we're bigger than everybody. We're stronger than everybody. LeBron's going to be dominating the post. And when he's not doing it, AD will be doing it. No, it's not going to be like that. And so, like I said, Rob, it's just the fit is tough. And some people might say, the Lakers fans, well, hold up. Look at James Harden. He switched his game. James Harden, if you watch him, even through high school, he's always been a playmaker. Even in Houston, he made plays for other guys. Now, he shot a ton because that's what Mike D'Antoni wanted. But I don't think it was that. All Harden had to do was say, I'm not going to shoot as much. And I'm going to be more of this high pick and roll. I'm going to set these other guys up. That's not, to me, that wasn't that huge of a physical adjustment for Harden. It was more of a mental adjustment. And he was able to do it. But the other thing, Robin, you notice the three dudes in Brooklyn can shoot.
Hello, is this thing on?
Two of the Lakers can't shoot. The Lakers big three. LeBron's a good shooter. He's not a great shooter. The other two aren't really even good shooters.
And that's the problem in this league. You got to have some shooters, Chris.
Yep.
And don't tell me about they're going to just surround them with three-point shooters. Where? From who? What guys? Right. You mean quality three-point shooters, Chris, are sitting on the sidelines? They're not attached to any team? Come on.
They tried that. Ben McLemore, Wesley Matthews.
Right.
How's that worked out? I mean, look, you got a ring last year. You got a ring 2 years ago, and that was good. You didn't have the greatest shooting in, but you were big. You played big.
But you remember, and they also shot way better, Chris, in that bubble.
In the bubble, they did.
Right. You remember, they were not a good shooting team going in, and they made shots. They made shots.
Do you feel like the meeting a few weeks ago between LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, and Anthony Davis, in which they all said they would be willing to sacrifice, play different positions, share the ball, get off the ball, whatever it took to win championships. Does that matter to you and make you think that's going to make a difference? Your turn to weigh in.
All right, let's kick it off with Floyd the barber in Atlanta. You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Floyd?
Yeah, you dating both of us with that Floyd the barber. You took it way back, but I've heard it before.
I know you've heard it before a million times. No doubt.
Oh yeah, it's either Floyd the Barber or Pretty Boy Floyd. So
Yes.
I'm kind of used to it these days. But I'm just gonna get right to it as a Laker fan. I was, when I heard it, I didn't like it. I'm worried about the fit, but I'm trying to be a little more optimistic about it. So hearing that they had this little come together meeting and everybody seems to be on the same page to reach the same goal, it does make me feel better. And I think one thing that everybody's overlooking, if you look at the last three champions, the Bucks, the Lakers, and Toronto, year before last, none of them were good three-point shooting teams. So I think it might be a little too much emphasis on all the shooters that are needed in it being a shooters league, because Milwaukee this year and the Lakers last year basically won with size against their opponent. So I don't want to put too much credence on the fact that they need more shooters. Of course they do. But I think over time, of course we need to see them play, but it does make me feel a little bit better going ahead. In the meantime, you guys have a good weekend, and I'll catch the rest out there.
All right, brother.
Appreciate it, Floyd.
I disagree, though, that the Bucks couldn't shoot threes. The Bucks were pretty good shooting three. Now, they were big. He's right about that, but they weren't a bad three-point shooting team. And Toronto could shoot threes back, a few years ago when they won it. You had Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet. All right.
Let's not act like threes don't have anything to do with it. I think they're important. While you're scoring two, they're scoring three.
Right.
Tim in California, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Tim?
Hey, Odd Couple, can you hear me?
Yes,
we got
sir.
you, man.
Man, it's so cool to get on for the first time. This is awesome. You guys are awesome. Your show is awesome. I don't want to take up too much time, but you guys got it.
Hey, Tim, real quick, we're in California. Obviously, it's a huge state. Where are you?
Man, we're down the street in Ontario, an hour out of L.A.
Okay.
So I'm from New York. I moved here in Cali like 4 years ago when I met my wife. Anyways, I just wanted to say, listen, this is nothing new. They get together because they all get along. These are millionaires. They want to make it happen. He's from here. He wants to win. But let's be real. It's about the X's and O's in the playoffs. Things slow down. Westbrook is going to be a disaster for LeBron. But it works out for LeBron because he's going to have a person he could throw their blame and excuses on when he fails again. So it works out
You
both
don't
ways.
sound like a Lakers fan.
No, he said he's from New York originally, Chris. He just moved
but
out
he's
here
in
for
LA
love.
now. Okay, so
Right.
you admit
Yeah,
that.
I abandoned the shit when LeBron came. I abandoned the shit.
Wow.
I knew things. Yeah, it wasn't. I can't feel LeBron. I can't stand his fans. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I always say this, like with LeBron, and when things don't go right, people, his minions say he's the GOAT, and the other guys are the scapegoats. Remember that.
Exactly, and they got the biggest scapegoat because James Harden, it was all Westbrook. Get him out of here. Westbrook in Washington again. He's gonna get all the blame, all the excuses, and it's gonna work out for LeBron.
All right. Let me say this, Rob, real quick, because we had the last caller say, the Bucks and the Raptors couldn't shoot threes, right? Like I said, the Raptors were sixth in the league in 3-point percentage.
So that sounds like that's pretty good.
Pretty darn good.
Six,
and Milwaukee was fifth. So come on.
There we go.
Right.
Stop
and
saying
the Lakers
that
won it being like in the bottom 10. So,
Chris,
but they did shoot well.
Why are you
facts over feelings.
No.
All these Laker
Here's
fans
the
and their
question.
feelings.
Why are you
feelings.
cherry picking regular season stats when I just sent it to you in the chat? In the playoff run, Bucks shot 32%.
Regular seasons are
Raptors
regular
shot
season,
34%. And
regular
Lakers shot 35%.
season is more telling.
How do you
Regular season is
figure?
82 games.
All right.
It just gives you a
that's who
better
you
feel
are.
on whether or
Okay.
not they can make threes. That's
Then-
all.
Right.
All right.
That's who you are.
It's your show. All right. I'll let you do your
Yes.
thing.
You know what?
You better back off.
That's right. He get a little too comfortable. He thinks that,
Isn't he just hopping on the mic with takes out of nowhere? And,
unbelievable. This ain't that crazy podcast you do in the morning. All right. Drew in New Jersey. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Drew?
How you guys doing?
Good.
So what I gotta say is there's only one person I think in America that thinks that this is the greatest trade ever, and that's Kendrick Perkins. You should have heard
Is that right? Is that what he said?
he's a LeBron,
Right.
Russell
That's
Westbrook
his
guy.
name.
You should have. I thought he was gonna slap Stephen A in the face today.
Wow. Because Stephen A wasn't buying it.
No, he
now,
was not.
didn't I think I saw Stephen A say that the Lakers are the favorite, his pick in the West, didn't he?
No, I thought he said
Max.
the Nets. Yeah, in the West.
In the West,
overall,
yeah, he got them
Nets.
going to the
Yeah.
finals.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And you know how you know it's not a good fit when Nick Wright is a glass half full on a LeBron team. If you read it, he's like, I don't
No,
see
you're right.
it, but we'll wait.
No,
and see.
that's shocking.
That says a lot. It does.
Because he's always lockstep with LeBron, no matter
Yep.
what.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I don't see this working. I'll wait and see. If it works, I'll applaud it. But there's only one ball. I don't. If I have LeBron on my team, I want the ball in his hands.
Right.
And yeah, it's not like the Nets. Here's the thing: the Nets. You have a bunch of you have a bunch of guys that can play off the ball. You have a bunch of shooters. If you have guys that can play off the ball, they can play on any team.
Yep.
There's only one ball.
Yep. Look, Kyrie, Durant, Harden, every one of them is a great jump shooter.
We saw it. They don't need the ball, Chris.
Absolutely.
Throw it to them.
Absolutely. And LeBron, if he goes to power forward, he's not going to be draining jumpers left and right. AD certainly isn't, and neither is Westbrook. Now, again, I said it yesterday, but I'll give him a puncher's chance. LeBron is one of the smartest players ever, and they got talent. You can't argue with that, the top three. But it's baffling when you look at how in the world is this going to work. All right, studios, our next guest is the Spectrum News 1 host in Los Angeles, Kelvin Washington, friend of the show. What's up, man? How are you?
What up, good brothers? I'm good, man. It's great to be on with you two. It's a huge day in LA yesterday and kind of carrying in today when you're talking about sports. The two biggest franchises making some huge moves, right?
No doubt. Here we go with the Laker. He's a Laker homer now. I
know. I want to see you. We know you're a Laker homer. What do you have to say?
Cal?
Be objective, man. What do you think of this fit? Be objective. Now try. Try your best.
Hold on now. Do not disrespect, especially you, Rob. Do not disrespect my Detroit Pistons and Cade Cunningham, all right? We're 2 years away from hopping on up in the Eastern Conference playoffs. So let me start there.
What do you think about the Lakers?
Nah, but being in LA now for so long and working with, the radio formerly, now with the TV here in LA with the teams. Look, man, you guys know what time it is, man. The Lakers have decided, and they've always been this type of franchise, but once they went all in with LeBron, every single year they got to go all in, right? So they granted the one time without help, we saw what happened, right? When Kyle Kuzma is the second best player, it's not good. So then they go out, they get AD. What do? AD and LeBron bring a ring. Now, before injuries, we were looking like they're going to get another ring. So what they did to me was...
Well, that's a little presumptuous,
don't
you think?
No, Chris, don't act like they were not the number one seed. LeBron, I think
in the West. I like them in the West.
Okay,
but to say they were the favorites over Brooklyn?
No, they weren't.
I'm not so sure about that.
Okay, let's not act like. Let's say they weren't favored. Let's not act like we weren't expected to get that coastal NBA Finals. Lakers, Nets, all the stars. My point is, they were right there. It was for the taking, if you will. And so now that doesn't happen. And now they did what they had to do. We got to go get some insurance. Look at they did the opposite. Anthony Davis has been a top 5 talent for pretty much his entire career. We know that when he's healthy, he's one of the best. But he's oftentimes not healthy. They went and got the most Mr. Reliable as far as durability guy in Russell Westbrook. And I think that's what they were doing, was securing something and say, hey, look, we're all in. Let's get a guy that when we know AD is going to go down for some time, whether it be, 4 or 5 games to 35 games, we need somebody who is going to be reliable. LeBron has been injured for the first time a couple years in a row. Let's get somebody who we can plug in, who will do his thing if they're injured, if they're tired, if they're sluggish, and if we need to manage the clock, the time on them a little bit. This guy can do this, that. I mean, have you ever seen him out of breath?
No, but he's not insurance for AD. If AD goes down, Russell and LeBron aren't winning the championship.
I'm glad you said that, Chris. Let me ask you something. Now, I get the premise, right? Because they both ball dominate, blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry. LeBron's championships, except for AD, come with ball dominant players. Kyrie Irving, it don't get no more ball dominant than Kyrie Irving. And then you talk about a Dwayne Wade in Wade County, who was the guy who eventually would say LeBron's the guy, but two guys who have been ball dominant, who get down. They're not pick and pop shooters. They're not spot up shooters. They're not post up men. Kyrie Irving, Mr. Pet. Are you serious?
Can I respond to this, Rob?
Yes, you
can I respond to this? First of all, in Miami, number one, the league was different. The three-point shot was not as prevalent. It was still important, don't get me wrong.
But not like
it wasn't
is
as
now.
prevalent as it is today. And they surrounded LeBron and Wade with Mario Chalmers, Ray Allen, Mike Miller, Shane Battier.
Do you remember what Mike Miller did? Do you remember what Mike Miller did?
Right. They beat Oklahoma because Shane Battier went crazy from the three-point line. Oklahoma City.
I'm glad
and then
you all said that.
Kyrie is a great jump shooter. Yeah, he wasn't patting it all the time with LeBron. Because he could shoot, he could play off the ball. That's the difference. When you can shoot, you can play off the ball. Even if you don't like it, even if it's not natural to you, if you can shoot, you can play off the ball. If you can't, it's tougher.
Chris Broussard, what I need is one of your breakdowns right now that you do on IG. I need you to break down what you just said. Yes, Kyrie can shoot. His mid-range game is great. We all know that. He gets to
three-pointer is too.
Three-pointer. But
what was he, Chris? 50, 40, 90.
Yeah, 50, 40, 90 this year.
He was 50, 40, 90.
No. My point is when you look at the shots he makes, they're still off the dribble. In the three-point, off the dribble. The one against Curry in Game 7 off the dribble. So
a couple dribbles, not like dribbling for 15 seconds.
All right, let's do this. Let's switch over. I want to get your take because you do fill in.
He's a homer supreme.
And I see you,
my goodness. We should have brought Russell Westbrook on the show or Rob Pelinka. We could have got more objectivity from Rob Pelinka.
Rob, let me say this. Before we get to Scherzer, I know you want to get to the Dodgers.
Yes.
I'm not saying Russell Westbrook and LeBron is a match made in heaven. It ain't peanut butter and jelly, okay? It ain't Martin and Gina. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is if you tell me what I saw last year with LeBron and AD giving the league the business, number one in the West, LeBron looking like an MVP, and now you're telling me, before injuries, and now you're telling me I had a Russell Westbrook, again, not a shooter, but another guy that can put pressure on the defense, another guy that can take the load off for LeBron at times. I like it. They don't need much when they're healthy. I think that's the thing people are forgetting.
But why
when they're healthy.
All right. I'm gonna let you go.
Let's switch over. He does fill in on the Dodgers
too
for the Spectrum Sports over there, which is great. The Dodgers, I think, have just outmuscled the rest of the league now. The Dodgers have turned into the big bad wolf, the bully of baseball. They don't care how much money it costs, what they're going to get what they want. What do you make of Scherzer and Taylor?
The same thing you make, Rob, and you're Mr. Baseball. The fact of the matter is, I want to go, yes, we know money, right? We know the Dodgers' pockets are deep.
Yes.
We know that they're able to do whatever they want. But I think the thing that will be misleading is if you focus on the money. You got to look at how they were able to get Trey Turner as well as Scherzer. It was actually by having Ruiz and having these Josiah Gray, having the young talent. Their farm system has been the key to their success. You talk about guys, Cody Bellinger, obviously not having a great season, but had a great season, was an MVP, had great seasons, Julio Urias. All of these guys, they continue to have Corey Seager, who we'll see what he ends up doing with his deal. My point is they have sustained success because of this farm system that we can plug in guys, right? Or, hey, that guy's so good, we don't even need him. Let's go trade him to get a Trey Turner, to get a Max Scherzer. So it, to me, is a double-edged sword, and why the league has to be, rest of Major League Baseball has to be, scared, is that not only is it just they have deep pockets, plenty of teams have deep pockets, right? Plenty of teams can cash out if they really want. They have deep pockets, and they have the resources to add on if need be, and that's what makes them so scary. And not to mention, when guys continue to get back healthy, Corey Seager looks like he's back. You're talking about Mookie Betts continuing to get right eventually. I mean, this team is going to be very, very scared to beat, but they got to win because they're not leading the division right now. They're back. Last I checked, maybe it was 3.5 games.
Yeah, 3 games, 3 games behind the Giants, and the Padres are 2.5 behind the Dodgers. I just thought that it was just something, Kelvin, from the standpoint that the Padres appeared to have got Scherzer. You remember, Chris? We talked about it.
Yep.
It looked like they had him, like they had agreed to the players, and the Dodgers swooped in and gave up some prize prospects. So I was impressed that the Dodgers aren't taking the Padres or Giants lightly.
Big time trolling, Rob. You know about that. It's kind of, they had to treat the Padres how you do Tom Brady. You know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta take shots at people. Sometimes it's like that.
I guess.
That is very true, my man. Very true. All right, brother. Look, we get you excited.
We love you anyway.
We love you anyway. Yeah. And I'm giving him a puncher's chance. I'm giving him a puncher's chance.
Chris, real quick, you didn't tell me why. So the Lakers are what? 7th seed in the what? What are you saying?
Oh, no.
He says he's giving him a puncher's chance.
I'm giving him a puncher's chance The one thing I'll give you is the West is wide open, right? There's nobody that's scared. I would go with the Clippers if Kawhi was healthy, but with him hurt, I mean, Phoenix, Utah, Denver, Portland. I think Dallas will be improved. The Clippers obviously don't have Kawhi. Like, it's open. They got a shot. But Rob and I have said this, and I think you'd admit this. When we could throw out, well, they're not healthy. They're not healthy.
Right.
Well, LeBron, some of this is his age.
He's been hurt 2 of the 3 years in L.A. And the 1 year he was healthy, they had a 4-month layoff for COVID.
Right. See, that it ain't just, LeBron happened to get hurt.
Right.
This is what happens as you get older. And AD, of course, that's
always
just been his
hurt.
pattern. Yeah. So
look,
they
you're
got
mad
talent.
that they get to throw in Russell Westbrook when LeBron's hurt. Y'all not making no sense right now. Don't make me come to the studio.
No, throw him in, though, but he's not replacing AD.
Ultimately, they all 3 got to play in order to have a chance
Right.
to win a championship.
I'll
Well,
give you that
the
Westbrook.
same thing happened to Brooklyn.
No, but Brooklyn's pieces fit much better. There's no doubt about it.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
they're-
I agree.
But I'll give you this. Westbrook will take some of the physical toll off of the other 2 stars.
All right, see, he got
so maybe
one
they'll
thing
be able
right.
to stay
All
healthy.
right.
Yeah, maybe
He
they'll
got
be able
one
to stay
thing
healthy.
right.
All right,
I
brother.
don't care how many national championships you won in the state of Michigan. Get off our phone.
I'll holler at y'all.
All
All right, brother. Peace.